The series begins with two sailors spot the barrel floating in the sea. The ship is hosting a formal dance for the rich passengers, and among them, a pretty young girl is invited to dance. The two sailors cast out a rope to reel the barrel in. However, when they pull it in, another sailor spots a pirate ship in the distance, a pink one belonging to the pirate Alvida. The pirate ship, known as the Miss Love Duck, fires its cannons, and the barrel is knocked out of the sailor's hands, sent rolling into the kitchen. Panic ensues as the pirate ship attacks the cruise vessel, pulling up beside it and allowing the pirates to board, led by Alvida. While pirates are attacking the ship, Kobe, a young boy who is essentially a slave of Alvida, sneaks into the kitchen and notices the barrel. As he is rolling it away, several pirates come in and ask why he's sneaking around. He then proclaims that he is thirsty, and just as one of the pirates is about to smash open the barrel with his fist, it bursts open and out jumps Monkey D. Luffy, shocking everybody. The pirates try to attack him, but they are easily defeated and flee, and Kobe is left intrigued by Luffy. Luffy and Kobe head to the ship's storage cellar and Luffy starts eating apples out of a crate. While in the cellar, Luffy asks if they are on a pirate ship. Kobe replies that they are not, but rather on a cruise ship being raided by pirates. Luffy then explains how his dinghy was destroyed in a whirlpool and how he barely survived by jumping into the barrel. Then, Kobe explains how he ended up getting picked up by Alvida's pirates and how he has been their slave ever since. Luffy then mentions his dream and wants to become the Pirate King, which causes Kobe to lose it, realizing that Luffy is a pirate. While this conversation is being held, Alvida's pirates tell their captain that there is a barrel monster aboard the ship and are all oblivious to the fact that Nami is robbing them blind. Alvida bursts through the ceiling of the cellar and sees Luffy, mentioning how he is not Roronoa Zoro. Luffy then asks who the fat lady is, infuriating Alvida. Alvida attacks, but Luffy picks up Kobe and launches himself out of the cellar and onto the deck. He is attacked by Alvida's pirates but knocks them all out using a Gomu Gomu no rocket attack. When everyone is shocked by this, Luffy explains that he is a rubber man who ate the Gomu Gomu no Mi. Alvida asks Kobe who the most beautiful woman in the world is. Alvida, who had trained Kobe to stay by her side, is shocked when Kobe, inspired by Luffy, stands up for himself and yells that Alvida is a smelly, fat, old hack. Alvida becomes livid and attacks. Her mace strikes Luffy right on the head, but he stays standing. Luffy proclaims that a normal attack like that won't work on a rubber man, then wins back and uses a Gomu Gomu no pistol attack to send Alvida flying, defeating her with one hit. Luffy orders Alvida's remaining pirates to get a boat ready for him and Kobe, and they jump into the boat and sail away, briefly seeing Nami in her boat as they head off. Sailing out into the Great Blue Sea, Luffy asks about the pirate hunter Kobe mentioned. Kobe says that he was captured by the Marines, and Luffy announces his intention of asking him to join his crew. This causes Kobe to lose it again. While they are speaking, the scene changes to a nearby Marine base where a man with a green bandana is tied to a cross, looking up. Kobe then explains how Roronoa Zoro is a demon who takes down men just for the bounty. The boat then arrives at an island, where a large marine base is stationed. Luffy and Kobe walk through the town, and at the mention of the names of both Roronoa Zoro and Captain Morgan, the townspeople are thrown into a panic. Luffy and Kobe then arrive at the marine base, where Kobe thinks it will be his goodbye, as he plans on enrolling in the Marines, but Luffy climbs over the wall and spots Zoro tied to a cross. As the two look at Zoro, a little girl named Rika climbs over the wall with a ladder. She offers some rice balls to Zoro that she made herself, putting her whole heart into it. At that moment, the snobbish Helmeppo, son of Captain Morgan, arrives with several Marine soldiers. He eats one of Rika's rice balls and says it's disgusting, since she used sugar instead of salt, and he stomps on them and has her thrown out. When he leaves, Luffy goes up to Zoro and asks him to join the crew. Zoro rejects the offer and refuses to be freed from his bindings since he plans on surviving just to spite Helmeppo. He then eats the flattened rice balls. Luffy and Kobe then meet with Rika in the town and Luffy mentions how Zoro loved the rice balls. Luffy asks if Zoro actually is evil, but Rika replies that he is really a good guy. One day, Helmeppo brought a vicious wolf into the town bar, but Zoro knocked it out to protect everyone inside. He then knocked down Helmeppo, but Helmeppo convinced Zoro to have himself arrested in an exchange for the people in the bar not being executed. Luffy, Kobe, and Rika walk into a restaurant and find Helmeppo talking about how he's going to execute Zoro the next day. Luffy, furious at Helmeppo's dishonesty, punches him, and Helmeppo runs off to complain to his father. Captain Morgan, at that time, is having a statue of himself erected on top of the Marine base, and he punches his son and calls him worthless after Helmeppo tells him what happened. Luffy goes to untie Zoro, but Zoro mentions how his swords were taken away. Luffy says he will go get them, so he uses Gomu Gomu no Rocket to launch himself up to the roof of the Marine base. In doing so, he knocks over the statue and causes it to break. Morgan orders that Luffy be executed, so Luffy grabs Helmeppo and runs into the base, searching for Zoro's swords. Outside, Kobe is trying to untie Zoro and explains the situation to him. Luffy drags Helmeppo into Helmeppo's room, where the swords are. Meanwhile, Captain Morgan and his soldiers surround Zoro and Kobe, and Morgan orders that they are both executed. The soldiers hold up their rifles and open fire, and Zoro thinks how he cannot die, and remembers Kuina. However, before the bullets can reach them, Luffy leaps from the Marine base and uses his rubber body to block the bullets and send them flying. When Zoro is shocked and asks who he is, Luffy responds that he is Monkey D. Luffy and that he will become the Pirate King. Luffy delivers Zoro's sword and says he didn't know which one was his, so he took all three. Zoro explains that he uses all three for his sword style. Luffy demands that Zoro choose between joining his crew or dying there. Zoro agrees to join his crew. Captain Morgan realizes that Luffy must have eaten a devil fruit. Captain Morgan explains about the mysterious devil fruits, describing examples such as the ability to breathe fire and the ability to create tsunamis. Luffy then hands the three swords to Zoro in exchange for Zoro joining his crew. Zoro accepts the terms, saying how he cannot die yet, and that he must fulfill his vow. He then says that if Luffy gets in the way of his dream, Zoro will kill him. Luffy uses Gomu Gomu no Muchi to wipe them all out. This makes Morgan livid, so he removes his coat and declares that he is Axe Hand Morgan and will handle the job himself. Luffy accepts the challenge and charges at Morgan, taking a swing, but Morgan blocks with his axe. The two engage in a great battle, with all of Morgan's attacks missing and Luffy gaining the upper hand, knocking Morgan to the ground and pounding him with his fists. Helmeppo then puts a gun to Kobe's head, ordering that Luffy stop attacking or else he will kill Kobe. Kobe declares that he will not stand in the way of Luffy's dream, even if it means death. Luffy turns toward Helmeppo and gets ready to attack, but Morgan stands up behind Luffy. Just as Morgan swings his axe, Luffy uses Gomu Gomu no Pistol to strike Helmeppo in the face and send him flying. Morgan's axe, however, does not reach Luffy's head because Zoro slashes him across the chest. Morgan collapses on the ground defeated, and Luffy, Zoro, and Kobe are surprised to see the Marines toss their weapons into the air in celebration of their captain's defeat. Elsewhere, Nami finds the location of a map in the Marine base, but there is a note from Buggy there instead, saying he took the map already. Later, Luffy, Zoro, and Kobe are in the town restaurant with Rika and her mom. They eat their fill, and Rika asks where Luffy is headed to next. Luffy replies that he is going to the Grand Line to find One Piece, and Kobe responds with horror, saying how the Grand Line is a dangerous place, also known as the Pirate's Graveyard. Even so, Luffy remains confident in his dream. At that moment, the Marines step into the restaurant, and as Luffy and Zoro are pirates, the Marines order them to leave the island immediately. Though the townspeople are unhappy about this since Morgan abused them too, the leader, Lieutenant Ripper, points out that they will not report them to Marine headquarters to repay the favor for getting rid of Morgan. Luffy and Zoro get ready to go, and Ripper asks if Kobe is with them. Luffy goes on to explain that Kobe spent time aboard Alvida's pirate ship as her slave, and this makes Kobe angry as it will ruin his chances of enrolling in the Marines. Kobe has had enough and he punches Luffy, causing Luffy to retaliate and punch Kobe. The Marines see Kobe is not with them, and so order Luffy and Zoro to leave. As they leave, Kobe asks to join the Marines, and is accepted. Outside, Luffy and Zoro climb into their boat, and as they set sail, the Marines salute them for saving the town, including Kobe. Kobe vows to meet Luffy again, as a Marine meeting a pirate. Later, Zoro asks Luffy why he wants to become the Pirate King so badly. Luffy replies that he made a promise to the man that gave him his straw hat, and that he will not break that promise, no matter what.